very year, we have not only atoned for our sins, we have spilled, we have shed blood, they have shed our blood. We have let our sacrifice be made unto thee. Even on the 30th of August, as we are being felled by the bullets of the enemy, by the workers of iniquity and of darkness, we remain very strong today to beckon upon thee, to ask you for your mercy and for your grace, to ensure that your kingdom is restored upon the face of the earth, that you can bring your healing hand to bear upon the life of those of them that you created for one singular purpose, and that purpose alone, which is to worship you in truth and in every honesty. Is there any way that we have erred? Is there any way that our ancestors may have sinned? We confess before a congregation of the whole of humanity to ask you, O Lord of hosts, to have mercy upon us. You must have mercy upon us. We have suffered enough. We have been subjugated enough. We have been tortured enough. We have been imprisoned enough. We did not do these people anything. Our only crime is to answer your name. Our only crime is to be born your children. Our only crime is to excel at everything that we place our hands into. Our only crime is to exhibit your glory and your blessing, which manifestedly is upon our lives every blessed day. That is why they want to kill us. That is why the British want to join those of them who don't know you to destroy your creation and your inheritance. You will not allow shame to befall your name. You will not allow the enemies to triumph over the lives of your children, because you created us to exist, to worship, to honor and praise you. That is exactly what we are going to do when this Biafra comes. It will come in truth and in every honesty, because we remain every blessed day whiter than white and whiter than snow. Is there any way that we have sinned that you cannot forgive us our trespasses, to enable us to fulfill your own word, which was spoken thousands of years ago, that instead of what you promised not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist. You opened your mouth to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain, because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isoko. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy, because Biafra will come, and when it does, We will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all this we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you. He said,
IPOB, one family. Biafrans all over the world. If we want safety and security for our people, then let's continue to support Eastern Security Network. All donations are welcome. No contribution is too small or too large. Do your part, knowing that freedom is in our hands, and together we must all rise to the occasion. Go to our website to make your contribution, www.ipobinUSA.org/donate. And remember that freedom is not free, but together we restore it. Farm by farm, forest by forest, house by house, and street by street.
Us to understand this very evening, we are facing a very formidable array of enemies, both external and within, and we are going to overcome each and every one of these obstacles. That I can assure you, that they may know that the God we worship is an invisible God, not a God that was wrought by the hands of men. For we do not worship idol, and we can never ever worship idol. Is impossible. This very family, this IPOB, belongs to the Most High. And that is how it's going to be until Biafra comes and beyond, to eternity. This evening, I want to place it on record that our enemies are intensifying their attack against us from every corner. I am not saying this as lamentation or complaint. I am only trying to prepare our people for what is to come. You are being prepared for what is to come. The time has come to separate the chaff from the wheat itself. Our march is very, very near. The enemies are trembling, they are quaking, they are doing all they can to try to stop us. But they have failed very woefully, and they will continue to fail. But I want to tell you that we are getting attacks from everywhere all over the world. And very soon, they will buy over some of you. They will buy some of you over. The spirit of Ekpa, Biasika, and Ifajuna are still in some of you. When the time comes, they will buy you over. I am not doing this program tonight to ask all of you to be strong. I am doing it to remind you, not that if they succeed in buying you over, you're not going to stop what we are doing. You can't. You cannot. Not in a trillion years. But I need you to appreciate one very simple fact. That at the end of this very race, everybody will testify that indeed Chukwuokike Abiama, the same God of Israel, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the same God of Ehiri in Aguleri, the same God of Umweri, the same God of Ora Eri, the same God of Owe Eri, the same God of Arochukwu. Not to be no bad, the true God, one true God. You will know that indeed, not only is he omnipotent, that same God is the owner of this very agitation. No human being can stop it. We have enemies. And we need to be very, very careful, both within and without. Very, very careful. The next 2 weeks will be very pivotal. Next 2 weeks will be very, very important in the life, or should I say, in this very mission that we have embarked upon. The devil will do everything. And you are going to watch spectacularly how we are going to destroy and shame the enemy. That at the end, every glory and adoration will belong to God and not to man. Now let us go and tell you what is happening that some of you do not understand. I want those of you who are hardcore, those who we are chosen before you were born. There were some people who were chosen before they were born to agitate for Biafra restoration. This is a message for you. Those who from their mother's womb they were born to do this very work. You must be very, very strong. Because Biafra will open the eyes of black people all over the world. Because Biafra will mean that blacks from America, blacks from the Caribbean, from Southern America, they will all flood into Africa. It will be like the time that Yeshua was born. Biafra is like a light, a beacon. They will follow it. They will say, let us go and see what is happening there. That is what these no-colonialists do not want. They don't want Biafra to come. I am telling our people so they understand. The mountains, I didn't say one mountain, the mountains in front of us that we need to overcome. And for us to overcome it, we need to be very strong mentally, mental strength. Just like when you're doing anything in life, and it appears as if you are being buffeted from everywhere. That is the time that you no longer rely on willpower or your muscles. You go to your brain to endure and to persevere and to keep going until you overcome. That is the stage we are in right now. To make sure that our brain is in gear to confront everything the Janjaweed has to throw at us. We don't have money. Their budget is over $20 billion to fight us. They can bribe Facebook. They can buy them off. They can do anything they like. They can come to some of you and bribe you off. They can promise you what you've never had before. They can give you maybe a house in Dubai. They can promise you a vehicle. They can tell you, oh, we'll make you vice president. They can promise you anything to make sure that you're like them. But this very IPOB, this very hardcore is not going to move. And I will tell you why we can't move.
Fellow Nigerian, in search of excellence for Africa, my mission remains to create awareness, advance practical solutions, and transform mindsets via case studies. Together, let's midwife deliverance for our race, country, and continent. Please share this video. I am Dr. Israel Noyerem Davidson. Thank you. In 2001, US-led forces overthrew a Taliban-led Afghan government following the 9/11 attacks led by the Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. For the next 20 years, the US and allies enforced democratic ideals, built up Afghan security forces, and provided operational air cover. The Taliban continued to attacks. Now, eventually, under President Trump, the US promised to pull out if Taliban agreed to stop attacks and hosting terrorist groups. Today, the Taliban militants have declared Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan and overrun most of the country at lightning speed with little or no resistance from the 300,000 US trained and heavily equipped Afghan forces. US general could not believe an army could crumble at that rate.
I did not, nor did anyone else, see a collapse of an army that size in 11 days. There'll be many postmortems on this topic, but right now is not that time.
It is believed the Afghan soldiers, though diehards, had unquenchable allegiance to jihadist ideologies practiced by Taliban. There were Afghan soldiers by day, Taliban at heart, and Taliban at night. A situation some suggest currently exists in Nigeria too. So Afghanistan was simply handed over to the mullahs, to govern based on their shared jihadist ideological leaning. The south and middle belt of Nigeria should wake up with urgency. The Afghan situation is cooking fast in Nigeria today. Afghanistan is number 1 on global terrorist list. Nigeria is number 3. Second.
I'm asking a very pertinent question. Is Nigeria working for you? Major General Muhammadu Buhari retired, knew the solutions to Boko Haram till he finally became president. He asked ex-President Jonathan to resign because of insecurity. He cried empathetically. He promised to end Boko Haram in 3 months. But now, he's telling us he's done his best to arm the military. Why isn't he resigning? Governor Fashola knew the solutions to providing stable power supply till he became Minister of Power, and darkness pervaded the land. After trying hard and giving excuses like he only plays a supervisory role, the ministry was assigned to someone else. Power grid, still they collapse. The NSAS protests were tagged insurrection. In fact, someone said Aisha Yusufu ought to be in jail for instigating violence. Then farmers were beheaded in Borno. Same person asked Aisha Yusufu to lead a protest. Aren't these people supposed to forbid hypocrisy? Is Nigeria working for any Nigerian today? From leaders hoarding food for the poor, receiving kickbacks from government contracts, to farmers needing permission to go to their farms. Is Nigeria working for you? Why is Zamfara's gold for Zamfara and Niger Delta oil for Nigeria? Why is Hisba destroying alcohol, but their state governments receive federal allocation from monies received via taxation, including tax on alcoholic beverages? Why are some federal roads abandoned to bandits and kidnappers? Who is in charge of Nigeria's security? The president is talking tough this time. Most times, he's as shocked by the rest of us by the absence of good governance under him. Regardless of his campaign promises and the manifesto of his political party, Nigeria has rolled back in terms of development. From Naira continually losing its value to our recently launched locomotive trains breaking down in the middle of nowhere. Nigeria has to be working for some people though. The government can do no wrong. To this set of people, their money isn't being stolen, even if the money is being borrowed, leaving debts for their own children to pay in future. Even if the leaders don't use public institutions, from sending their children to Ivy League schools abroad to getting medical treatment abroad, some people who have nothing and we need to donate money for their medical bills if they have a serious ailment, continue to hail the obvious lack of good governance till Nigeria happens to them. Then they get a little pissed. May Nigeria never happen to you. Say amen. We deserve better than the political class who go home with millions monthly to represent people who can't even afford to feed themselves. I am Olajumoke Alaode James. Nigeria is not working for me. Is Nigeria working for you?
You must listen to her. Of course, you must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who's doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. Welcome to this live broadcast. This is live and direct on Enter Biafra Channel 1, live and direct on Enter Biafra Channel 2, live and direct on Enter Biafra YouTube channel, live and direct on Voice of Biafra 97.5 FM, live and direct on Twitter, Twitch, and on all other Enter Biafra platform, and of course on auto-piloted IPOB media platform, different social media. I apologize for coming this late, but you know, we must continue and we must move. We have a lot of things going on at the same time. And I want to tell Biafrans that we are winning this war. We are winning and we will continue to win by a big margin on daily basis. I told you all that, sorry. Sorry about that. I told you all that, you know, when they say we have entered new dimension, we have entered new dimension. Why are we entering new dimension every day? We are entering new dimension every day. The struggle is like, you know, when the struggle is in different gear. We enter from one gear to another, from another gear to another, you know, until we enter the acceleration stage. So I want to thank you all for your prayers and for your resoluteness and for belief that, yes, in 2023, in 2023, we will end this mess. We will end this mess. Today, as you can see on the screen, Nigeria's dangerous diversity that made Atiku Abubakar a billionaire and rendered every other person in northern Nigeria, especially in Adamawa, where Atiku Abubakar came from, poor. The reason we want to leave Nigeria is when Atiku Abubakar was on a live show during the 2019 presidential election, he was asking the journalist, do you know how I become what I am today? Do you know how I become what I am today? Do you know what I went through to become Atiku Abubakar? I want to tell you what Atiku Abubakar went through. Atiku Abubakar is a product of Nigeria, and the product of Nigeria are criminals. I want to tell you today that when we say Nigeria breed criminals, we are not just lying. And because of the dangerous diversity that made Nigeria what it is, Nigeria can never have a structure to checkmate people like Atiku Abubakar and bring them to justice. In Biafra, we are going to have law that will bring people to justice when they become criminals. Now, I want you to listen to this.
I'm asking a very pertinent question.
Sorry, not this one. One moment. Without wasting time, we're moving ahead. I want you to listen to this.
And yet Adamawa still remains one of the poorest states in Nigeria. And they've had you, a man who's been vice president for 8 years, someone who... I am going to ask the questions no matter how you shout, so you might as well just let me talk. I am going to ask the questions. So the Adamawa still remains one of the poorest countries, and therefore, if you talk about people who want to look at antecedents, because you kept talking about your record, and so it's a fair question for people to ask. If your home state has not seen an appreciable change as a result of your major sitting in an office of that of the vice president, why should we believe you would do better for the rest of Nigeria?
Again, you have got it wrong, because you didn't try to compare what was it before and now.
That is the Nigeria. They say Atiku was making reference to his record, just like his counterpart, Peter Obi, who want to distract Biafra people, are making reference to his past record. They have something in common. They have similar thing in common, the way they claim in their past record. I want you to understand that this is the Nigeria you are defending. You don't know what I want to do, right? You don't know what I want to do. I'm going to shock you people today. All right, let us go there. It will shock you today. You don't know how prepared we are, right? I want to open Atiku's nyash in broken language. But before I do that, let us listen to Atiku, how Atiku claim, do you know what made me? Do you know how I become Atiku Abubakar? Do you know me? Do you know this, what I went through to become Atiku Abubakar? So we are going to allow this thing to roll.
Today, give us the numbers.
I may not be able to give you the numbers, but today...
So I can tell you.
Oh, well, you can tell me, but then you have to convince me that you have the right...
I have the numbers. So Adamawa has, for the last 20 years, come in sort of 26, 27 in the index of poor states in Nigeria. It hasn't shifted much. Maybe one place in the last 20 years.
Then it cannot be one place in the last 20 years. It must be maybe in the last 10 years.
No, I'm talking about 20 years. I looked at the numbers before coming in here. Because it's one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about.
But it has shifted.
Seeing as it is your state.
But it is shifted.
A little bit.
So one single individual is able to make that shift. So imagine if it is.
But isn't that part of the problem, actually? That
how?
In all your influence, you've not been able to build another you in Adamawa or someone close to you.
Do you know how long it took me?
That is all about you.
Do you know how long it took me to be what I am? Do you know from what background I came?
Okay. So
we don't know from what background you came. We don't know how long it took you to be what you are today. But I am going to expose you to the world. The world is going to know that thing that you have been hiding. That thing that you say, do you know what it takes you? Do anybody know what it takes you to be what you are today? Do we know the background you are coming from? We have come to tell the world your background. We have come to tell the world how you are what you are today. And the reason why the people in Adamawa are dying of poverty.
So I was told when I was researching this that there are two major employers in Adamawa. One is the state government and the second is you.
Yeah. Okay. One is the state government and the second is Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar came from a very poor background and all of a sudden he is now bragging and boasting on how, do you know where I come from?
Part of the conversation we had was, how come the economy of Adamawa is not getting bigger enough. This is a place, like you pointed out, rich in agriculture and a lot of other things, and yet people are stuck in poverty. They've had people at the highest possible office.
Now, you all have listened to Atiku. So, my fellow Biafrans, my fellow one Nigeria nincompoop, the one Nigerian idiotic people, those election of 2023, those campaigning for election, I want to tell you the person that all of you are looking up to for Nigeria. And let me tell you, what I am doing today is not different from every other. Atiku is not different from Obi. Atiku is not different from Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. I am just trying to tell you how bad Nigeria is and why Nigeria is not a choice and why we must destroy Nigeria before Nigeria destroys us. Nigeria have actually destroyed a lot of generation before us. So we are not going to allow Nigeria to destroy this generation, and we are going to deal with Nigeria decisively. So we are going to go on another commercial, and we are going to come back after that.
Fellow Nigerian, in search of excellence for Africa, my mission remains to create awareness, advance practical solutions, and